Yo dudes, welcome back to The Quest. So, today we're talking about my game jam, Indie Quest. Yeah, I know I used the title twice. I use Quest a lot, and I used Indie Quest like twice for two of my things. But hey, that's just because I'm uninspired and unoriginal. Anyways, I made this game for the Godot Wild Jam number 31, which is a Godot game jam engine, a Godot game engine jam, where you have to use your thing, you have to make the game in Godot. Yes, I too stumble through everything I say. I'm human, just like you. We are same. Inside, we are same. On the outside, we're probably pretty weird looking, so probably same. Anyways, I actually finished this entry to a game jam, and I never finished an entry to a Godot Wild Jam ever. I've tried on several occasions and never can. But this time, I did. Big brain. Actually finishing a project. Crazy. So I sat myself down at Dunkin' Donuts. That is right, of course I did. And I grinded out the character movement system and the basic room environment. Because after I wrote the game design document, I was ready to go. So yeah, I got my sprites in the pixel character creator, which is made by someone in the Godot community. I will link it in the comment that's pinned below, because right now I honestly do not know the name of the person. But yes, they were a fantastic person and allowed me to make this, use their sprites set in 2D and a 3D environment, and I love that kind of stuff. I live for that kind of stuff. It's amazing. I love it. 10 out of 10. Top tier quality. Anyways, so we did that, and I spent a lot of my free time there over the next week that I'm going to talk about. The next couple of days specifically, I just used to increase the quality of like the environment and making the character more fun to move around, because they were kind of like not bad, but it just didn't feel right yet. So I had to make them feel right. And the environment was not perfect. The environment was pretty. It was not great to start with. And yeah, so like I mainly did that, and everything in that jam was made by me, except the Linux background on the computer. That was an Easter egg. That would not be by me. But everything else, like I just used Blender for the 3D models, and then I used a flat color with, I believe, a shader with Godot's like 3D spatial materials. So nothing is all that crazy. It just kind of works well because I made it work well. So there was a lot of camera tweaking, making the camera not so zoomed in, but not so zoomed out, and like on the wrong axis, on like the wrong levels. I want to make the angle good. I'm all about that camera angle. It's about the aesthetic, the composition of an area, and how the player views it, how the person experiences it. That's what I'm all about. But there was also a lot of questions that I did not want to have to answer. Like, can you jump? Can you jump in the game, like, at all? Can you jump? That's a big question. Can you jump? Do I make the camera rotatable? Do I allow that person to go around the room? So these are great questions. You may think these are just dumb answers. Just yes. Just make them just yes. But you can't just overload your game with content like this for multiple reasons. Control schemes have to be specific. You gotta figure out what's important, what's gonna be used the most, and what's the best way to allow the player to use that thing. That's why a lot of strategy games just are computer only, because they have way too much shit in them. They need like 5 key presses to get the things. They go like 10 menus, and that's a nightmare to code for a controller. So yeah, that's why strategy games are usually just for computer or dumbed down on consoles. But anyways, these were the big questions I had to ask myself and go, God damn it, Vesper, why would you do this to me? And the answer to the jump was No, it was dumb. It was just too much to do. It wasn't really needed in the game. The game had nothing to do with jumping at all. Maybe it made the game more fun. I don't know. I played it multiple times. I never once tried to even jump because I did not care enough to jump, and I always tried jumping games. I just didn't want to jump the game. So no. And the answer to the camera was I tried, but no. Because the 3D sprite rig, I used 3D sprites in Godot to compose this character. I put them all in a spatial node called Puppet. Now this controlled the whole character aesthetic, all the animations, everything. Now, when you move the camera around, even with the billboarding stuff set up on the materials, the spray 3Ds have to move around and relayer themselves and stuff, and like it wasn't working, like at all. It just was not working. No matter which way I did it, if I turned always to the back, it was all mirrored, which does not look good, by the way. I tried reversing it at a certain angle, it just was a nightmare. It was not working out like at all. Things weren't layered properly, so like the eyes were missing on one angle, then they weren't the other angle. The hair was missing, the angle was behind. It was a nightmare, and I just came to the conclusion, I don't even need to have a rotatable camera. Who cares? I loved Pokemon Sword and Shield with the ways that they did not have rotatable cameras in housing. I love that. I've been trying to emulate that. So I was like, you know what? It's just time to go old school with this stuff. So once I got it done and it felt good to like move around in, I worked on like camera tricks. I made it so different areas had different camera angles. And there was transitions to those camera angles that were handmade, which means I made sure they were nice looking. Yes. And this just made the game so much better. The right angle mixed with the right amount of lighting, the right time, the right zoom level. It made the game feel so much more professional and just nice. So after all that stuff, I then worked on the character customization in the game, which was a fun time. To figure out the control scheme was an absolute nightmare, because you see, I wanted everything to just fit. I wanted to prove that I had master level UI crafting skills. So I was like, I want to integrate everything into somewhere where it just fits in seamlessly. Just a masterwork of UI. I try this all the time, and sometimes it doesn't need to be done, but I do it anyways because I'm a smart cookie like that. I try, and plus it's kind of a challenge for me too, and so it's a lot of fun to work on. So yeah, I want to make it the character customization so that there's a mirror. You walk up to the mirror. You could press a button that was prompted. You would enter customization mode. And now you can switch between parts of the body, different, and then I make sure there's a control to move left and like previous and next on the options for that body, and then the coloring for that as well. Now, not only did I have to make this, like, you're probably thinking, okay, keyboard controller, that's not that hard. Not that hard, fam. Easy peasy. I hate menu work, so this was like, I was already in hell. But we worked with it, and I had to present all the controls at one time, and it was a nightmare, and it looked garbage for a while, and it kind of still looks garbagey, but like, I've seen AAA titles that looked a lot worse, so I'm okay with it. But I wanted to make a few customizational, like with the colors, you know, I've already said all that stuff. And I did not want to have to code a lot of stuff because I hate coding menus. Like, you may think coding a menu is not hard. It's not hard. It's just tedious. It's just boring. Think about washing your dishes. Do you like washing your dishes? No. Everyone wishes they had a maid, so they don't have to wash their fucking dishes anymore. That's like doing menu work. No one wants to do it, but we all have to, or else the games don't work. And it sucks. It's a pain. No one wants to, but we have to. So I did it. So customization was important to me for two big reasons. These reasons are, For one, the game is all about you playing any developer. To make that feel like you, I wanted to feel like you could customize this character from skin color to clothing. I want which people felt connected to their player, like their character. There was no narration in this game. There was nothing like that. There was no story. The story was you were a poor indie developer working a 9-to-5 job and making a game. So I wanted to make it feel like you were actually in that nightmarish situation. The next reason was I wanted to flex. It's my first Godot game jam. I wanted to just walk in and go, "What's up? What you got in your game, huh? What you got? What you got? You can jump into running? Well, I got character customization in 3D with 2D sprites with a simulation game. It's like a tycoon." I just wanted to flex really hard. That's my entire life existence, and all my plans and goals in life are just flexing. So those are like the two big reasons. You can think, well, that's pretty stupid. And I'll agree with you. It was. So next I started working on the Chord gameplay, which was just getting onto your computer and working on the game. Pretty simple, right? So I was just worried that making a simple click and press here and watch the time go by would be too boring, too simple, not big brain enough. So I hit up my friend who was working on something at the time, and I had him. He ended up making some sim-style time passage buttons for me, some icons, and just happened. No one really planned on it, but it just happened and it worked really well. So that happened, and I made an entire phone interface for the player. With this, they could view some of the important information that just would not fit anywhere else in the game. And most importantly, they could control how fast time went. You know, slow, fast, faster, or just like godlike speed, just insane speed. And it was also, you know, the pause speed, just like Sims, And yeah, but I still didn't want players to feel so bored. So I made a procedurally generated Guitar Hero inspired section of gameplay, little mini game, where you had to press the right button at the right time, just like Guitar Hero, except there was no music, there was no real rhythm to it. It was just a PCG minigame. And it was kind of hard to make. Surprisingly hard. But I did some color design tricks here to make sure the player was focusing on the more important nodes that were more relevant. So if the note had entered the ready zone, they'd be more saturated, less gray, not so dark. They'd be bright and nice and big. And the next part of this was hitting notes would increase the progress of the game, because that's how we really do game development. It's all this rhythm game, like Guitar Hero. That's how we do. But if you miss them, it would hurt your progress. But this is just where things were just not fun. They got more fun. So they weren't fun with all that fun yet. I want to make it more difficult. I want to make it more challenging. I want to make it more fun. So I did what any other game developer does and just increase the amount of mechanics in the game, because that's how you make a game more fun, right? More mechanics because more fun. So I just made a combo system, a difficulty ranking system. I was able to grind out the entire mini game in like 5 minutes, which was bad because I could avoid like half the gameplay that was in the actual game yet. I played this mini game for like 5 minutes. I just beat my own game. It's bad. Like the 9 to 5 gas station work I wanted to add to the game is a huge part of the game experience. It's an indie experience. Having a day job is the indie experience. So I made an energy meter, like any smart person does. If the player hits a note, they lose a little of energy. Not that much, just a little bit, because work costs energy. No matter how good you're working, it costs energy. If they miss the note, they lose a lot more energy and progress, so the double whammy on that. If you hit 0 energy, you will pass out and come back with, I believe, like half of your energy. Maybe it was a full amount. Harvest moons though. For the sake of the gem, difficulty. I might have made it the full amount so it could beat the game faster. I ended up making the energy meter a 3D meter in the background above the bed. I wanted to minimize the UI, like I said earlier, and integrate it all into the game smoothly, so this just was the better way to go. And I had to take 3D meshes and color them with materials in Godot. And then I did some coding to grow and shrink them to look like a progress bar, which looked really slick actually. I'm really proud of that. Because Godot doesn't have any native 3D space interface nodes, unlike other game engines. Just an absolute pain. There are tricks around that, but they don't really work that well. And that's okay, because I made one that works super well. And you really can't tell the difference, quite honestly. Like, I might actually just release it as an asset for Godot, because it's pretty good. And it worked out really well. It's really simple too, and I made it like diverse. These are for like 2 or 3 different things in the game. At this point, I was running out of time from the jam, and I was working 8-hour shifts, 5 days a week. And, you know, 11 p.m. to like 7 a.m. sucks. And running off of caffeine just to get through life, man. I still had some bugs to iron out. And the gas station gameplay was not done. It hadn't started. But I did have the gas station area kind of blocked out with some like just plain monochromatic block like meshes and Godot. It was actually how it ended up staying, so I didn't have time to color it in at all. Then I got the work, so I got the work system working, and the option to quit the game from the same door you went to work on, so I made the door pretty useful. Once again, minimizing UI. And work was just an automatic thing, you know, it's an idle game, and it's an idle portion of the game. You just kind of go to the work, watch time go by until your shift ends. And energy deplete as well, your energy goes down. But I coded an entire day and night system with actual visuals, along with a work system. Because if you showed up to work, you'd earn a wage every hour, you paid once a week. If you showed up to work late, you'd lose that many hours of wages, and you'd get a warning. Now, if you don't show up to work at all, you get no pay, and you still get a warning. If you get like 3 or 5 warnings, you get fired. And if you get fired, you can still play the game, but you don't make any money. And so, if you don't make any money, when time's to pay the rent for your apartment in the game, you get evicted. And it is in that moment you lose the game. I believe if you also like crash your energy meter too many times, you also die as well and lose the game. It's kind of morbid, but like it's reality, man. You can't just crash your body 3,000 times and live. Gotta have consequences. So it's an intense race to finish the game. If you can't not be able to pay rent, that's a good challenge, really. Yeah. And this schedule for the players, like the player actually has to go in on certain days at certain times, and that whole like work schedule doesn't change. I didn't feel like that crazy ambitious. I was already dying as it was to finish it. This schedule is visible to the player's phone calendar, and I managed, like, I was dying to make that phone calendar. I hated that whole phone UI, but I made it as complete as I could. As this was towards the end of the jam, I had like no time left. I was dying on the inside, so I finished it the best I could. I got the page loaded up. You know, I made a page on my website. I uploaded it, submitted it to the game jam, and then I took a healthy, long crash because I was, you know, experiencing the energy meter hitting 0, like in the game. Too real. But yeah, so it got pretty good reception despite being like a concept of what people said. Actually, people actually liked it quite a bit. You know, they weren't like, oh my gosh, it's game of the year. Give this man game of the year right now. But they're like, hey, it's a pretty interesting idea. It's a pretty impressive take. You know, like, you did it in 7 days by yourself, fam. Good job. Good was awesome. Like, I was proud. I made it all within a week while attending my life needs and managed to sleep 6 hours. And it was a playable game. It was playable. Indie Quest was a success in my eyes. And I uploaded the whole thing to itch.io. And my own website, of course. Like I said, I'm professional like that. Trust me, I was exhausted, beyond exhausted. I didn't want to put the jam game up on anything, but hey, we made it. We made it. But I was surprisingly awake the entire jam up to that point, though, which is quite crazy. I'm like dying inside the whole time, but I was awake pretty well. I actively posted shots of my updates on the game on Twitter, on the Discord for the jam. Get to a wild jam. I'll put it in the link description, or like in the comment below. Actually, it's just easier that way. People should read it that way. And you know, you can play if you like, but I was one of the story of Indie Quest, the jam, the game I would not recommend playing, but it is playable. It's a concept. Check it out. Check it out. You see the concept is, you can see if you like it or not. I'll probably change a lot of things in it if I really do make it. But hey, if you enjoyed this kind of video at all, you think I did a good job, you like the pink background, you know, you like my Megazord, the glow-in-the-dark pop figure that I keep right in the background here because he's cost me $20 and I have to flex all my pop figures because pop figures are expensive but amazing. If you like that kind of stuff, press like. It helped me boost my way through the algorithms, climb the ladders. We'll go from the bottom of the algorithm to somewhere on the top where friendly content gets. Even though my content is borderline not friendly towards family, like half the time. But we try anyways, guys. We try. And if you don't like this kind of content, hit dislike, because just being honest, that's how we grow. Drop a dislike on there, give me a comment, tell me what you think about my game, my stuff. Like, you know what? That pink background, disgusting. That pink shirt, you wore the last 2 videos, bro. You got green hair, I did it the last 2 videos, bro. This camera angle is garbage. You keep looking at your computer too much. That kind of stuff. Or if you're actually like, you know what? You're doing what you can, man. You got a pretty dope background. You're cool. I like you. I want to see you prosper. I want to see you grow. I want to see this journey in its full extent, including that as I hit the microphone. And support me because I just purchased like a $130 microphone for this stuff to make my content extra good and not off a phone camera audio clip. Then hit subscribe because I appreciate all followers. Because you guys are more than just a number to me. You're a number. That means I can almost get ad revenue on my videos. I'm just kidding. You guys are awesome. And you're all people, and you all have futures. And I honestly, making $10 is impressive, but people watch my videos and learning something and growing from it and not adding to their future and their life story is honestly just mind-boggling, mind-blowing stuff. So, have a great day, because if you're not gonna have a good day, if you're not gonna make your own day good, who's gonna make it good for you? Nobody. Everyone that has good days only has good days because they make their days good. Like, I'm not having a great day, but I'm making it good. I'm making videos by doing cool stuff, by going, you know what? I did this. We did this. So, have a good day. Vesper, fucking on.